It takes a village. It takes a mic check, 1 2 1 2. Lady Poetic coming through with a very exciting episode of Poetic's Corner for you. Hey, how's everybody doing? Oh my goodness, wow, what a month, what a year, what a life. Huh? On the grind here, folks, on the grind. Let's get into it right away, shall we? I'm going to do something a little bit different with the poetry reading today. I'm actually going to read through Quartz Trip and stop every so often to talk about some of the bars and do a little bit of a bar breakdown. All right, so let's get into that right away. Quartz Trip, an azimuth collaboration. Cheers. This is from an ultra classified, sanctified mind, spun into dendrites suspended in time. Okay, let's just stop right there for a minute. So, this whole first verse, and particularly that bar right there, is related to Alzheimer's dementia or a dementia process. It's thought that there's dendritic dysfunction in part of the pathology of Alzheimer's dementia. Silver lined, demystified, defunded signs. Silver lined, silver haired, older adults, okay. Desensitized and sprung into unsung crimes. Uptunded from inner monologues, making faux pas. Redundant prayers in synagogues, forsaking what was. Drummed up by ministers, chasing the slugs. Stunned, slayered, sinister, facing shots mugged. A very muddled and abstract way of describing some of the decompensation of cognition. A blip in the quartz trip, time folds and wrinkles, a drip from the gauntlet last sipped, surface rippled, ripped from remorse with the signatures crinkled, stripped from the north with the transport so simple. I'm Stalin in the Soviet to make Germanic advances, fallen for the laureate to break ecstatic trances, pausing for the poets with phonetic enhancements, cause and effect for emphatic detachments. So that last section is a nod to cannabis and to the rippers and to the CC community. All right. So yeah, just my way of poetically painting changes over time and how quickly life can go. So that's kind of the basis of Quartz Trip here. So this is the Quartz Trip, defunded memory lane, the sort of beat that rips and plunges into your brain. Thought patterns scattered, then realigned again. Lost matter captured the mind's mind, my friends. And what that really relates to the hook is about music therapy and how, even though a dementia process or a major neurocognitive disorder process can progress, we do still retain music and that memory of music. And it's been incredible to see how some people react when they hear music of their time when they were more intact. So that's what that relates to. Glossed over manuscripts, scribbled by the one, embossed over tablets made brittle by the sun, gawked over fascists, riddled with puns, stalked older catchments, little undone. The bar structure, you guys, right? Boom, 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 boom. A bar structure here. It's great. Pinches of metal, a dash of eccentric. That's me. Since it all settled, the clash is extensive. Trip it on pedals, gassed and left pensive, glitching through quartz strips, fractured and sensitive. Bumped my machine head, tiger's eye glows. Jumped with the Freeman, higher she rose. That bar relates to the collaboration I did with John Connor, Jan Freeman on the Lady Poetic Mixtape Volume 1. Thank you. Castles Rising. Slummed it with millionaires, empire grows. Running without a care, walk wires, round globes. The running line more or less refers to my running and athleticism there. My putaмен's emaciated ultimate crash. Again, that line is directly related to part of the pathology in an Alzheimer's dementia with putamen atrophy, part of the basal ganglia. Reframe the unsatiated, foaming in pasts. The game's unappreciated, culprits amass. Remember my name, once great, once the last. The last in the poem, and as it's written, capitalized. And that is it's like a little nod or an Easter egg to the last unicorn. Whenever I mention the last, that's what that refers to. Squeezing through portals in East Puerto Rico. Okay, I'm going to come back to that line, and that's what I'm going to base part of Storytime around today. Okay, so squeezing through portals in East Puerto Rico. Pin it. Teasing the mortals while reaching for these goals. Breezing through course loads, least of what's been told. Seizing each moment to meet what's been foretold. Now, those last two bars are pretty important and pretty particular. Breezing through course loads, least of what's been told. As I'm going through my journey through academics and medical school and learning about some of these things, it had yet to been foretold at me at that point in time that I would go on to be working with the geriatric population, seizing each moment to meet what's been foretold. Boulder still restless, navigating terrains, turmoil infesting the best of the brains. Furloughed from guessing creations insane, smoldering lanes from a trail gone ablaze. Again, relates right back to the pathology, how quickly time can go, how we can decompensate, and how um, there is no bias for who to whom these things happen. Chilling in the spaces between piano keys, stilling the basses unseen by families. Fingertips braced secretly in lucid dreams, court strips extorted beneath fantasies. Pleasantries, escapades, all in exchange. Memories vacated, Polaroids fade. Sensories blanketed, in golden fields laid. Preparatory stories, in full, we were paid. This is the Quartz strip, ladies and gentlemen. That was the big single, June 2nd. Thank you so much to Azimuth, aka David Robson, for collaborating with me on that beautiful, gorgeous track. It's beautiful as a standalone poem. It is in the Lady Poetic Principle, Volume 2. And thank you to everybody for chilling with me for that piece of the episode. All right. Right. So again, related to the Quartz strip, different life processes, how quickly life can go, some of the strange and unusual things that can happen. When I was living in Puerto Rico, squeezing through portals in East Puerto Rico, okay, my sister came to visit me, and I took her, well, planned to take her to a beach that I had in mind. Ended up getting deviated or off track, off the beaten path, so to speak, and we wound up at a completely different beach, and there was not a single person there. It was like a personal, private beach, just the two of us for the afternoon. It was gorgeous weather, it was perfect. As we were leaving, two local gentlemen came up and gave us these roses that were made out of palms that they had woven in like origami. It was really, really cool. So now we're driving back from this beach. We had this really incredible experience, and we are on the highway to take the exit to get to my apartment. Okay. And we look, let's say it's 3:30 in the afternoon, right? So we're driving down the highway. I'm looking for my exit, and we drive past this building with graffiti. I recognize it. You know, we're looking. My exit should be coming up soon, so we're driving for a while, and I'm not seeing my exit. And possible to have zoned out. You know, it happens. So we're driving and driving. I'm not taking any exits. It's not looping back around. The road's not looping back around, and we're driving for a while at this point. I'm like, man, I think I got to find a place to turn around. Um, but I keep going straight for a bit until I find like a comfortable way to get off and figure out what's going on. And I don't have a GPS on me, probably handwritten instructions or directions at that time. So we're driving for some time, and then lo and behold, we drive past this building with the graffiti that I recognize, and we look at the clock at the time on the car dash, and it's 3:30. We're like, and we look at each other, we're like, is this happening right now? And so we both agreed we had some kind of a wormhole, just went through a little bit of a court strip, just a little blip in time, and just ended up right back there again. And then sure enough, the exit that I'm looking for is like a couple miles up. So squeezing through portals in East Puerto Rico, it happened. But just sometimes odd things happen. I'm sure a logical explanation, but the more reasonable explanation and the funner one is that we had some kind of a wormhole. Okay. All right. So, just a little story to entertain you with. I do have another story important that will tie into the single that I'm releasing today. It's August 1st today, officially and technically. I've just released a song. Well, released, uploaded, am sharing the song Need to Dream Big. So this was locally engineered and produced by my buddy Liebig. And this song, as I was writing it, really relates to all the artists that I've been meeting with and collaborating with and working with, particularly over the last 2 years since I've been here in Missouri. Today also marks technically year 3. We moved into our first place when we moved here to Missouri 3 years ago today. And then we've been in this house now here for 2 years. So, yeah, pretty cool, pretty big day. Definitely need to dream big with the music, and I do. Oh, the grandiose thoughts I have. Just wait for it. This is also a very important day for me personally. A little bit of a personal story here. Today, I celebrate 22 years of sobriety from alcohol. Cheers! Thank you. Hold your applause. Yes, it's been great. I woke up August 1st, 2004, to an empty glass on the floor and spilled apple juice and Bacardi rum all over the kitchen floor, an empty bottle of Bacardi rum next to the fridge. There's straws on the ground. And then outside, my car has a smashed rear view window from the last time that I was drunk driving. And I woke up and I'm 21 years old and I said, I can't live like this. I am about to go to college and I can't live like this anymore. And alcoholism runs rampant in my family. And that morning I made a promise to myself, I will never drink again. I promised myself I wouldn't. And I have held that promise for 22 years to the date. So thank you very much. And then within a year or two of doing that, I have dove into music and hip hop and running and much healthier, creative, expressive, alternative things and ways of living. So, yes, I mean, we all have our vices. I'm not perfect or vice free or anything like that, but yeah, I conquered that one. Conquered that one. So, need to dream big. August 1st, big day for your girl. And I just want to say, let's keep going. I really like and appreciate what I see from other artists and in the communities. And it's just so important just to keep on making that art. We need your art. And I meant that when I dropped that track too in that sentiment. So little stories and updates there. And speaking of which, how about some updates?
No major debriefings, mansion apartment, tent city prison or coffin. This is awkward because
I finished The Chambers last night, the entire project. The book is slated for release October 1st. The album is slated for release October 1st. I am hoping and praying that the film will be slated for release October 1st as well. But as of last night, I have finished editing the short film for The Chambers. So this is a three-pronged project. It is the book, the film, the book, the film, and the album. And as of last night, all three are completed in totality. So I really pat myself on the back for this one. This was a huge project and undertaking. A lot of time poured into this behind the scenes. As such, on a mildly sour note, I feel very disconnected from most people and from the community and all the events happening between working and being on call here, and doing the family thing and trying to keep up with self-care and running and whatnot. It's just been exhaustive. And I haven't been going out to many shows or, staying up with people as much, but I hope to reconnect and do better with that and engage, because what would this all be for otherwise? You know what I mean? But this is an incredible project and I know what I'm sitting on here. And so I will do my best to put this out in every way I know how that makes sense and is authentic and respectable and does justice to this project. So yeah, the Chambers project is officially completed, and I'm going to start trying to roll out some promotion and get creative with it and do different things. So please stay tuned. Please stay tuned for this. This is one of the greatest things I've ever done in my natural life. From everything that I've accomplished and everything I've done thus far, this has been one of the biggest creative projects I've ever done. So yay. All right. Yeah, let's take a moment. The Chambers, October 1st. Okay, 2 months. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Um, okay. Next, I've got a couple shows coming up, and I've had a few shows this summer, all pretty unexpected. I did not have any plugs or anything lined up to perform. I knew I was going to be working on the Chambers. I knew I was working on some other singles. Um, and then lo and behold, I was approached to do some live shows. So I've got, I think, my fourth live show of the summer coming up in September. May or may not have something in the works for the end of August here. So we'll see. That's awesome. I had a jam session with my buddy Spencer Camp last night. That's what's up. We were working on a hip hop set, tying in just a little bit of hip hop, but it's mostly R&B and soul. We speak that R&B language, that 90s R&B. So yeah, it's been fun to just to sing and jam out and practice. And oh gosh, he is such a beautiful keyboardist, very, very talented musician. So check out Spencer Camp if you want to hear some beautiful melodic instrumentation with keyboards and saxophone. That's what's up. All right. So yes, the Chambers Project coming October 1st, had some live shows sprinkled in, got a couple more coming up. Porch Fest is coming up in October. This is the 10th annual Porch Fest and my third time performing at Porch Fest. So I'm most excited about this. This is the big show of the year, and we try to do it up every year. So this one will be one for the books. Yay. All right. I'm tired, y'all. I'm grinding, but I can't slow down. I'm on a trajectory here and I've got a lot of ideas, and I told myself at the beginning of the year I was going to pace myself, and I did to an extent, either forcibly or otherwise. But here lately, I've had to put the pressure on a little bit, just to meet some deadlines, so I wasn't overthinking and sitting on too much. Gotta keep it moving, gotta keep it fluid. All right, gotta let those creative outlets flow. So, all right. Well, to be quite blunt and frank, this is great. I really had a good time. And when I was orchestrating the idea of Poetic's Corner, just a chance just to slow down, get away from like these reels and this fast paced, shorts and all that stuff. I don't like that kind of stuff. I think we already have like limited attention spans as human beings naturally. And so I think this just for further like conditions and perpetuates that. And I'm not a big fan of that. So this was an opportunity to do a 15-20 minute episode, just throw it on as you're doing whatever in the car, at work, doing the dishes, whatever, just to get caught up and just hear from the person behind the music, hear a little bit from the artist behind the art. So thank you for those of you who have been tuning in. Thank you to everyone who has tuned into every episode of Poetic's Corner. If you've watched all the previous 8 episodes and now this one, you're a superstar. You're a trooper, and I appreciate you and I thank you for that. And as such, because not a lot of people are tapping in, which makes this even cooler, and I can be a little bit more open and vulnerable. I'm going to plug in an unreleased song for you with the music video that I made. It's it's just a little something, This actually was supposed to be. This was the first time that I thought about the Chambers project, the album I wanted to do. So this is from like almost 2 years ago, the song. And I said, you know what, this is not it. It's a little bit different. It's lyrically not up to par for the caliber of what we are going to get on the Chambers. But I still like it, and I like the beat very, very much. I really like the beat. So yeah, it is really just like an ode to chemistry kind of deal. So yeah, it's kind of quirky and nerdy, but yeah, let's plug that in and enjoy. It may stay in the crates otherwise. I'm not planning to release this at any point in time necessarily, but it's just a little piece of art I made. So enjoy.
Liming. Okay, that is the line. That's the big line.
Bonds are covalent. Hands tied, ain't it? I came for the music, but the truth is, I'm swept into music, making mayhem. Ruthless. I came for the music, but the truth is, I'm swept into music, making mayhem. It's the wizard behind the curtain. Dorothy's on stage. From the mixtape, from the chambers to the storyteller's page. Craving the notes thrown from dopamine's rage. Untaming the tasks like a mastermind mage. It's not a cat and mouse tango. We're leopards and jaguars. We're stacking a house made out of measures, base, and bars. Got a knack for arousing undead treasures from sandbars. The impact sounding like those go-getters gone too far. There's a crack in my rose-colored glasses. A slap, cause we know the endorphin fuel chasms kept fracturing most of the novelty-gasms. Mastering poise in the face while I fathom the planned out encounter. Next lifetime, next hour. Candid as I scour the progenitive power of chemists. The next lesson plays in the parlor. Did I mention the next question stays on my honor? Bonds are covalent. Hands tied, ain't it? Bonds are covalent. I calculated exactly 0 seconds to waste. So to spend one with you, I'm defining cachet. Grace me with beats that I bet you I'll lace. Refine my choice, fuck up out of this place. Right now, the noise try to challenge my dignity. Slighted, engrossed by the waves of simplicity. I've been here before, in the zenith's epiphany, but never with you. Between us it's a symphony. Stick with me, watch us grow, I'll take us places. Respectfully speaking, leaving hands off the faces. Keep it cerebral, people, somatics off the table. Endearingly though, when we meet between fables. Hear me command your demeanor and drive. My fall will be silent, fly back to the hive. Speak to me in rhymes, I'll decipher then slide right back to the limerence and bid you goodnight. Hear me command your demeanor and drive. My fall will be silent, fly back to the hive. Speak to me in rhymes, I'll decipher then slide right back to the limerence and bid you goodnight. Bonds are covalent. Hands tied, ain't it? Bonds are covalent. I came for the music, but the truth is, I'm swept into music, making mayhem. Ruthless. I came for the truth is, I'm swept into music, making mayhem. Ruthless. Bonds are covalent. Hands tied, ain't it? Bonds are covalent. Hands tied, ain't it? To the OC, I came for the music. But the truth is, I'm swept into music, making mayhem. Ruthless. LP, Liebig, push start.
All right, cheers, y'all. That's to the OC unreleased track. Little visualizer I made for it. Hope you enjoyed. Okay, thank you so much for tuning into Poetic's Corner, episode 9. Okay, stay tuned for the chambers. Stay tuned for the chambers. Peace and blessings to you all. Stay up. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Hot summer nights, mid-July like Lana. Sitting poolside, chilling in the cabana.